Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm actually going to show you how we assembled the Spirit Halloween Plague Doctor that we had up in the Halloween of 2020. So this one does not move, it only makes sounds and has the lighting up eyes and the light up eyes in the skulls. But from the skulls it will actually produce fog. We just need a fog machine to do that, which will be here next year. So this year we're not going to have the fog going, but next year we will. So here we have all the parts scattered about. I don't typically do this. I'm not really an animatronic person, but this year in 2021 we're going to kind of move into it a little bit and get away from the inflatables. We're still going to have a ton of inflatables, but we're going to add some of these with it because I can't really add any more inflatables to the yard as it is now. So I have the instructions because as cool as Spirit Halloween animatronics are, there are two big things. One, the instructions are horrible. These instructions are probably the worst thing that you could ever try to read, and trying to figure these out is kind of pull your hair out. And then aside from that, as cool as these look, if you're the behind the scenes person actually assembling it, you realize, you kind of wonder why you paid so much money for them, because they're kind of very cheaply made. But nonetheless, they are cool as hell when Halloween comes and kids go screaming over them, so whatever. But anyway, I'm going to give you guys a close-up of the instructions. Alright, so as you guys can see here, we've got our parts list, which there is one special thing we do to that, which I will show you guys momentarily. But basically, we have just this list here, and then we have our list right here to the side, which shows you basically how to finally assemble him. Now, there are lots of words on this which you can read, which do kind of help you a little bit, but some of the parts, it's kind of hard to tell whether they go on the front or the back. You know, actually the orientation of them. So this was a little bit hard to figure out, but last year we did have it up and it was a success. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we assemble it. Okay, so the first piece that we're going to be working with, you guys can see right here, is actually our display stand. Now, this is a pretty large stand. It is all metal, and it's actually going to be supported by one rod that goes all the way up through the body. Now, there is this support bracket right here on the front that will end up standing up just like this, and it will hook into a loop that is on the one bar. Now, when we do that, the one thing that I like to do, because this does kind of rock back and forth a little bit, I will actually be, not right now in this video, but when I do have it set up, I do actually put a zip tie to secure it, so that way this can't pop out and have the animatronic fall to the front or back. So that's one thing that I do on a side note that's not in the instructions to further secure this. So for right now, we have our display stand. Obviously, this furthest part goes towards the back and this goes towards the front. So we're going to go ahead and set this down into position. And we're going to look for the first piece, which is this one. Well, second piece rather. So here is our bar that's going to be going up. So this is the next piece that you're going to want to look for. It is going to be the one that has the hole going through it right there. And you guys can see I have one of the zip ties on it right now, which I'm just going to take off. But there it is. So we're going to go ahead and put it down and lock it into place. So once you're here at the stand, just go ahead and put it on. And when you press in the silver tab, it will slide down and it will lock in. Once that is done, you will take your piece in the front here. And as you can see, it's got plenty of room to maneuver. You're going to insert it inside of the hole. So that is it, like that. That does not have any means of locking in at all, which is why, like I said, I prefer to do the zip tie. But for right now, since I'm putting it up and bringing it back down for you guys just to be able to see this as a tutorial, I'm not really too worried about adding in the zip tie right now. Now, the next piece that we're going to be adding in is another extension pole, but this one is just a standard pole. There's nothing special about it, so this is going to be the one that goes in the middle. So I'm not going to bring this closer and show you guys. It's literally just a standard traditional pole. So we are going to put that on just like that and lock that into place. Now further along as we go, you will see that we have This one here, which has the speaker on it, this one is going to be our top portion. So this is the one that you're going to be looking for next. You're going to see it's got these grooves on it here with the holes. So this is going to be one that actually holds like the waistline. So this is going to be our next piece going on. So just like the other ones, we're going to go ahead and sit this on and just a simple click into place. Now that that is finally done, what we're going to do next is actually, aside from the instructions, I'm going to drift away from how they say to do things. We are going to add the robe over top of this now. I actually do want to put the robe on now. So here we have the Plague Doctor's robe, and it does have this belt. It's just a rope belt that comes with it, and all you do is tie that on. I've left it on, I did not take it off, but traditionally when you open it out of the box, this will be laying by itself separate. But like I said, it's tying a knot. So if you don't know how to tie a knot, then you need to just watch a totally different video. Here we go. Putting this over top, and we're going to rest it just like that. So this is going to lay here just like that on the floor, and we're going to go ahead and grab our next pieces. So what is going to be next up on the list will be this, which I'll bring to show you guys a closer look. Right here you guys can see we've got the speaker, and we've got what is going to hold on to the arms as well as the head. Now there are other inputs back here. You do have a volume knob here, as well as if you want to have this with a step pad. You have a tri-me jack. This right here is where the power is going to plug into, and you have for a speaker. So if he is not loud enough and you have him at something that's kind of more like an event, you know, like a haunted house or something, you can add a speaker into this to make him louder. However, I will say, compared to other animatronics, this guy is actually pretty loud on his own with just the speaker. So me personally, I don't think it's necessary if you're using this for a home use. But if you guys need it for something that's going to be a bigger location with other sounds, then you may want the speaker option, and this does have it. So next we are taking it with the speaker being on his right side and put directly into place. We're not at this step yet, but I am going to show you this part because this is something that I currently cannot use, and you will need to know how to use this. Now this animatronic does have the function to work with a fog machine. Now this is actually, this portion here would hook to the fog machine, and this section here would slide into the hose, which is supplied with him. And they give you this piece as well. They do not give you a fog machine. That's something you need to get on your own. One thing I will recommend, however, though, is to get the Spirit Halloween fog machine, because I tried a Gemmy fog machine that was at Big Lots, and this actually was not compatible with it, and there was no way I could even try to rig it. It just wasn't going to work. So would recommend a Spirit Halloween fog machine if you're going to hook fog to him. But this is that piece. So this is not something that you guys are going to see us add on to him. And if you're curious of what this piece is, that is what it is, because they actually don't even show you this in the manual. So now we're going to take our foam waistline, and we're actually going to put it where the larger size of the hole is actually facing to the back. So we're just going to go over top of this just like that and come down and connect it in. Now it could be a little bit tricky to do this, but once you get it lined up correctly, it will go in. So there we have that. Now next up we have our upper shoulders. Essentially what I'm calling this. Now you could have issues where these two pieces here that go in may be bent during shipping or the purchase, whatever it may be. These are very easy to bend back into position. It's not a big deal, don't worry about it. But just keep in mind that you want this open hole to face forward, and you want this large, like hunched style look to be facing towards the back. So we're going to go ahead and add this on. Okay, and it's going to be just like that. So now that we have all of that assembled, we are actually going to take the robe and we are going to lift it up and place it before we get to putting on the head. Now this part can definitely be a little bit tedious because this robe actually does have a good amount of weight to it, which is definitely a good thing, but it does make this a little bit tricky when you're trying to put this on. Now there are Velcro strips, so I want to connect one of those right now just to get this held up. Push that to the back as well as his hood, and now we have his neck piece exposed. Now I'm actually hoping that I don't hit the fan. But anyway, so here is his head, which I will show you guys. It is a very, very awesome looking head. It's big, it's larger than a normal head. So he is definitely quite large. On top of him, he does have a piece of Velcro, so that way the hood will actually stay in place on top of his head. Down here you can see we have two pieces that are kind of like a fork and that are going to connect into the headpiece, as well as another Velcro piece here in the front to further close his hood. And we have our wire, which is going to connect to power up the LEDs that are inside of his eyes. So let's go ahead and put his head on. We're just assembling that just like that. And there you guys can see that we have him, for the most part, installed. Now I will go ahead and put this piece of Velcro right there on the front, run this wire down the back, and put his hood up, which will definitely help keep things where they need to be. And just looking for the Velcro, there it is. So, all right. So there's what it looks like with the hood now up. Now we're going to continue onward and finish doing this. So next step is going to be the arm. So this one here is going to be the bent one that is actually holding the staff, which is going to go on this side. So essentially, if you guys remember, there was those pieces which are right here. It's basically foolproof. You can't mess this up. Literally, you're just going to put these two hooks inside of there. Now, both arms do again have the foam on them. Do not cut and remove the foam. You need the foam there to give a little bit of girth to the arm. If not, it's just going to be a straight piece of metal. So we're just going to go ahead and slip this in just like that. So everything is more or less like a pitchfork style hook, which holds everything together. So we are now going to go to that hand, which is going to be this one. Now, giving you guys the up close look at this, you can see that both of the eyes on both skulls are illuminated, and down here we have a piece which is going to connect to the other ones, and the fog machine input, the hooks, and the wire for the illumination. So we're going to go ahead and get this all installed, and as we do that, I am going to start off by taking this. Now, I'm not going to run this all the way through the animatronic because I don't have the fog machine to do it, but just to show you guys, it's literally just like that. You just put this on, run it up through his arm, and then just down his side, and this is what you do with this piece. But again, we're not running fog right now, so I am not going to, bother installing all of that. So we do have this. We're going to go ahead and hook it on. Make sure you get through both layers, which is just like that. Now you can see he is holding it up. Now you don't want to leave him in that position too long or wiggle him around because you could actually bend the arm. So we're going to jump to these three pieces here, which are literally, if you look at them, they are identical. They are all the same thing except this one. This one has two inputs because this one goes into his thing. So by mistake, two of them are identical. The other one is noted to be for the top and it's just going to go just like that. No special orientation, just kind of slap them together. And then with that being said, we can now bring down his cloak over his arm. So we are, for the most part, almost done with this. So finally up on the list, we have his other arm, which is going to be the same thing. So since you guys have already seen what that looks like, I'm just going to go ahead and fish this up through. And I mean, really, it's this easy. Like, this is only my second time putting them together, and I can just feel right where the arm goes. It's very, very self-explanatory. Even if you were trying to figure it out without the instructions, that would be more or less a no-brainer, thing to put together. So we're gonna move this back, and here we have our final monstrous hand. Now, this one does not have any electronics going to it; it just simply has the hooks. So we are going to go ahead and put that on just like that, and down it goes. So guys, this is in fact our finished product for doing this. We do have the wire, which I did already show you guys where it plugs in on him, so I'm not going to bother, going through all that process. The longest wire will come through the sleeve and connect for here, and the shorter wire will connect to the head to illuminate the eyes. Once those connections are made, this guy will be fully functional. And again, really, you can figure those things out without the instructions. But as far as the actual assembly goes, we are done. This is him. And we do have, as you guys saw, the demo of him actually outside when we had him out for Halloween, so I'm not going to really worry about plugging him in or anything. So hopefully you guys did find this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I probably butchered this a little bit. This ain't really my kind of thing, but if it was helpful, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. We are going to have a ton of Halloween stuff coming up, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.
The apocalypse.